A self-funded 750 square meter luxury home monster up here, guys. Now, Mitch is a personal client of ours at RapidQS, and we have had the fortunate chance to come and have a look through this job. Demolition's been complete, foundations are done, and framing is underway. We're going to talk through this project step by step, everything from foundations, framing, finishes, but more importantly, all the entertainment aspects that this house has to offer. A humongous tennis court, a spa, a sauna, a home gym, and a golf simulator. Guys, if you know Mitch and you're looking forward to this video, comment below. It truly is a masterpiece. Rightio guys, so as we can see, we're heading up to this beautiful site here. Now, we can see a steep driveway. So as you could imagine, when we set up our preliminaries in general for any job, site access, deliveries, crane high-abs are very, very important. For this one, usually we would have one line item and we would have a crane delivery for a certain amount of deliveries. Mitch had just said for this project alone, the delivery truck driver for the frames behind us could not get up in one run. So the delivery truck driver had to drop off the majority of his frames down below and do 3 to 4 separate runs up to the job. So this is an additional cost that you would need to somehow factor in or negotiate with your material supplier and say, hey, listen, the site's a bit difficult. We are gonna have to do some more runs here. There's more time for the driver. These are all the things that we take into consideration when we're pricing up any project. And when this goes in our preliminaries and general section, we will always take into consideration all the site access and all the costs involved with that site. So if you have a tricky site coming up, look at all the site costs and look at everything that goes into that job. Hey mate, how's things, David?
Good, mate. Mitch.
Nice to meet you. How are you, bro?
Nice to meet you.
Now, I said to one of your boys as I was coming up, I said, shit, how many subbies have rejected doing deliveries here?
Yeah, there's been a few.
Yeah.
So we had a truck driver even on Friday with the frames.
Yeah.
They sent the right truck and we were getting those up here, but he just wasn't sort of game enough. So unload down the front, get a friender in and walk them up one pack at a time.
Oh, so he did drop them off and
Yeah, well, lucky enough, my neighbour's got a bit more land down the front. So we just unloaded onto his land and got the friender in and walk them up one pack at a time.
You bought this section, had an existing house on it?
Yes, yeah.
Did the demolition, basement underground?
Yeah, we bought this about 3 years ago. Had an original sort of 30-year-old house on it, just low set brick, 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, original sort of house. And then it's taken us pretty much every bit of that sort of 2.5 years to 3 years in just getting plans done, every little bit of information that was needed. We're in koala overlay, we got landslide reports, we're in bushfire. So every report that was ever needed had to get done here. So that's taken its time to get there. But then, pretty much the end of last year, everything got signed off by our certifier. Yeah. And we started demolition and middle of February this year.
How involved have you been with the design process, all of the paperwork consultants?
With this one, very involved. I've really designed this around our family. Yeah, and to stay here. Yeah, whether we we'll see how we go at the end of the day.
I do want to get into this later because I've seen 6 bedrooms and a master and also a lot of entertainment aspects. I really want to clarify whether you're more of an entertainment man or a family man. So
a little bit of both.
No, we'll get into that.
Hence why there's plenty of room.
Yeah. What's been the biggest consulting cost? And
probably the architectural bill was always the biggest. Yeah. And that's purely because we sort of went backwards and forwards, and both of us. I've got a really good working relationship with him. So there was a lot of changes. So essentially gave us the first quote, but we probably spent another 15 grand on just making changes and extra changes and and all that sort of stuff to what the original architectural plans were.
Keen to know and obviously understand council related stuff. Are you happy to give a round figure of what your total paperwork cost is to get to date? I mean, for any other builder listening, that's a huge cost.
Yeah, I reckon we're probably about 120, 130. It wasn't too bad. Like a lot of our consultant fees, like your bushfire and stuff like that, they're only about $1,000 a pop. Yeah. So all that sort of stuff gets done, and then your big ones, like our architectural bill was there of 40 to 50 grand.
Yeah.
The engineering was probably 20 to 25, give or take.
Yeah.
Certification was about 20 again as well.
Yeah. Are you dealing with all those RFIs directly, or is the architect doing it on your behalf?
Both. We all work together.
Okay.
Yeah. So it usually goes to me first, and then I'll either work it out and then send it back to them to be redrawn and added to the plans, or if I can't work it out, we'll all meet on site.
Nice.
Me, architect, certifier, and say, right, what do we need to do to get this worked out? How do we get around this issue that the council want?
For sure.
Yeah, like we're just going through one up at Surface Paradise at the moment with the sewer, with a build over sewer application and all that sort of stuff. So yeah.
No winter wheat delays, nothing too
Heaps.
major. Yeah. So that blew out the timeline.
yeah. It was.
Yeah.
It slowed. It didn't. It slowed us down.
Yeah.
Because I think we were like 4th, 5th month this year.
Yeah.
And we'd had about 28 dry days.
Did you
We got
consider
absolutely hammered?
Did you consider pushing back your start date because you knew the site or you just like I want to get into it?
No. We're a crew of 7 or 8 blokes.
Yeah.
And I try to really program our stuff that we've only got one coming out of the ground at a time. I needed to get this out of the ground to this stage to where the boys. So I'm very hands-on coming out of the ground with earthworks and all that sort of stuff, making sure that everything's right. And we do all our own profile and all that sort of stuff. So I needed to have this one out of the ground so the boys can start the frames.
Cool.
And then me and my leading hand will go to the next one and we'll bring that out of the ground. Otherwise, it's just too much. I'm a full-blown person. Gym slab is our lowest point.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, which is down there.
Yeah.
And then we sort of step up 500 or 600 onto the tennis court.
Yeah.
And then from there we come up to either the fire pit, slab over there, and then house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the boys are just cutting the footings in for the pool.
Nice.
At the moment.
So you said obviously demo was done. You started excavation? You probably broke ground end of February.
Yeah. The demo was about a month, and then did a lot of recycle, backfill for retainer walls.
For sure.
So we've got a concrete crusher up here and crushed all the bricks and slab. And
what was your motivation behind doing that? Purely a cost perspective, saving on dumping, or just
both?
Yeah,
both. Yeah, one to try and reuse what we're bringing out.
Nice.
And two is a cost. It was a massive cost. So like I think the hire of the concrete crusher for a week was about $3,000.
Yeah, and then you just had one of your boys running it.
Yeah, we just fed it with the excavator for a week. We crushed probably 50, 60 ton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
And then all being dispersed as back.
All gone back into backfill for retainer walls and
just purely off your experience, do you know roughly what that would have cost you? Is it tonnage rate? How they do?
Yeah, it's tonnage rate for dumping. Yeah. Yep. So and then your driver's truck fees on top of that. You're paying sort of $80-$90 an hour for a truck.
Yeah.
So for a 6 metre skip.
Yeah.
A concrete skip, well, I think we're paying about $550, call it $100 a ton, give or take.
Foundation wise, all your own boys doing everything. Did you sub it out?
No, foundations, we do everything. So I've got 2 excavators, a Bobcat.
Yeah.
And my old man works for me.
Nice.
So he drives all our machines, getting it out of the ground, and then we even box our own slabs and all that sort of stuff as well.
And then you just get a place and pour.
Just get a place and pour with our concreters. Yeah.
Did you work out to get to foundation stage budget-wise? Have you gone okay?
Everything's tracking pretty well, except for the amount of concrete. We've gone over on the amount of concrete, just purely like we're in all rock here.
Yeah.
So which is good as it all holds up, but as you're ripping out, if you get blowout.
We were just discussing with Mitch here around the difference on this type of foundation component. Not necessarily a massive cost saving by the time we still factor in the cost of the dintel and the block and the subtrade and the labor, etc. The reasons why the dintel wall has become more attractive on a job like this: one, the labor time saver from moving it from the front of the site to the back of the site. One man or one chippy can move this from the front to the back versus the block work. They come on pallets. It's heavy and hard to move. Someone's got to get in a forklift, move it to the back of the site, and then we have to manually labor move it to the area. Now, both components still need core filling, obviously, so there's a cost there for the concrete. But when you can get your own chippies installing the dintel versus bringing a block layer in, charging a 20 to 30% margin, then there's additional cost savings we can make there.
The retainer walls, they've come in pretty good. It come in different to our original estimate, but that we also changed products.
Higher, lower?
Just lower.
Nice.
Just lower, because everything was originally quoted as block.
Yeah.
And then we went to Dincel, which came in slightly cheaper than the block work.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, especially in the underground stuff like we were talking about before. But then the concrete, the core fill has come in over.
Okay.
Because the Dincel just takes so much concrete. So it's pretty much square metre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's worked out.
It's worked out pretty even compared to what to our original estimate. Yeah, even though we've changed products, and so we had a win with the Dincel, but then you put so much more core fill and stuff into it.
Yeah, because it's always, I mean, the common questions we always get is what's cheaper, this or this, whether it's cladding, foundation, retaining wall. So it's always nice to know.
Out of the ground, block work ends up cheaper.
Okay.
Once we're out of the ground, we don't have to waterproof.
Yeah.
And we've got to the house stuff because they sort of asked if I wanted to go Dincel everywhere.
Yeah.
But the block stays when you need it to be straight, like on the outside of a house or inside of a house.
Oh, absolutely.
It stays a hell of a lot straighter than what the Dincel does.
Yeah.
So Dincel's got its purpose, I believe, and it's a very, very good purpose. But then when you get up to being back up into your house and stuff like that,
you want everything.
It's hard to beat block.
Yeah. So, for example, 2 items down here on the Dincel, and I'm keen to walk over here. So, there's been no waterproofing necessary on this back component for the wall?
No. You'll see that back edge there.
Yeah.
That's all already been backfilled.
Yes.
There's no waterproofing in that. All we've done was waterproof our slab rebates.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, Dincel don't say that you have to do that.
Yeah.
It was just spec'd by our engineer to waterproof that just as another way to...
So what's this in here? Because obviously we've got Dincel interior. I can't imagine beautifully spec rendered wall interior here.
Yeah, so we've got a big window there. Go into your gym, sauna.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Steam room. And bathroom.
Now, whose imagination was this? Is this you, your wife, the architect?
This was me.
So you're a sauna man?
Yeah, we put a steam room in our last house.
Okay, cool.
First time I'd ever actually had one.
Yeah.
And we actually used it more often than what I thought. First, I put it in as a selling point.
Yeah.
But we actually used it more than what I ever thought we would have. And I was like, you sort of get used to it.
Yeah, and you're like, I don't want to have another house
You're a little bit soft and you're like, That was one of my sort of specs that, I wanted to, if we're going to go pool over the top of something, is have a glass window in there.
Yeah.
So you can...
So, I mean, what you just said there is real cool. How much, like, research did you look into the high-end home market, and where did you go and do that? Did you...
You just don't stop. Yeah. Like I'm lucky enough. I love and breathe what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I still to this day, I really enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not sort of on the tools so much anymore, but just enjoying every part of designing these, or being a part of the design in a lot of these high-end homes.
Yeah, so cool.
So we've built ourselves up to pretty much just doing all high-end stuff now.
Yeah.
And you just working with different architects, you pick up different things, and then you're forever on Instagram and looking at things and, like things that you guys put up and all that sort of stuff. You're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
a little bit of research and start Googling, go down the rabbit hole and see what comes out at the end.
This is the dream for so many builders, build their own dream home at this caliber, this level. You said it hasn't been easy.
No.
How did you get to this point? What was like your first lot of jobs? And I mean, there's a huge risk in this.
Massive, massive risk. So I started out we moved from Sydney, originally from Toowoomba, went to Sydney for a couple of years, and then moved here when we had our first son.
How'd you get your first job?
I think it was a family friend.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, or friend of someone.
Yeah.
A lot of probably 90% of my first 12 months was handyman stuff.
Yeah.
Swinging doors.
That's it.
Like going to replace a fence,
You're speaking my language, man.
Anything that needed to be done to keep... I had a family, I had to keep money coming in, so you just said yes to everything.
Yeah. But it's a numbers game for how many of those $1,000 jobs turn into a 20 or 30 or 40. And
yeah. And people probably, I know, and you don't look back until later on down the road.
Yeah.
There was times I made more money doing that stuff than I do in some of this real high-end stuff. If you're taking in the paperwork that goes into having to do some of these stuff, these things, and
120K
overheads, and
plus your time and hours, and it's a huge cost.
Yeah. And then from there we've just sort of built up into having one apprentice, having a labourer, and then over 10 years we've built ourselves up into essentially high-end luxury home builders that we are today with 7 or 8 blokes on staff.
Do you remember if there was like one specific job or turning point where you went from the small stuff to, yeah, man, I want to sit in this lane?
Yep. Yeah, so I went and hung a barn door for a lady's son that lived on Hedges.
Okay.
Just stock stand, fitted a barn door.
Yeah.
That was all well and good. She ended up living on Hedges herself. She had a block of units beside her house of, I think it was 6 units. Yeah. And we turned 6 units into 10 and renovated the whole block.
So $1,000 bar door hang turned into
probably a $500,000 job.
Yeah.
Spread out over a couple of years. We sort of did 2 at a time, go away and then come back and do the next 2 because I had to work in with her rentals and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that was probably a big turning point for us.
How are you funding, cash flowing this project?
Yeah, so I've been at flipping houses for the last 10 years.
Okay.
So we bought our first one here on the Gold Coast before we moved back. Renoed that just before we moved back. Moved into mum and dad's, finished the reno when we moved here. We were living there with our first kid. Renoed that, rented it out, and then just sort of got a flow in. Cool. And we're up to probably we've lived in everything up until our last renovation, where we just moved in with mum and dad, but I could afford to treat it more like a job. Yeah. So that was probably number 7.
Okay.
And then, so that's taken us, 7 sort of builds, as well as working full time, doing client stuff, and that everything was done on the side. Yeah. It was only the last couple of years where I've been able to do our first one treat it as a job,
as a client build,
as a client build.
Yeah, you're not just doing weekends.
Program it in. Nice. Treat it like a job, schedule it properly. Yeah. Run it during the week instead of doing it after hours. But the first say 5 or 6 was weekends, nighttime. Yeah.
And you said you're running a couple of other client builds at the moment.
Yeah. So I find 2 to 3, depending on the size of the jobs, is our sweet spot.
Cool.
So we've got this one on the go. We've got one in Palm Beach that's about 95% finished. So it'll hand over in the next 6 weeks.
Nice.
And then we've got one coming out of the ground up in Surface Paradise at the moment.
So you can obviously probably pull some reasonably good deals from subbies on all the other jobs you've given them work. Yeah. Get a semi-decent deal here. Yeah. And then you're just doing stage payments bank-wise to fund this?
So this is funded. So we've had to fund a bit over $1 million of our own money to put in to get that equity and just to get everything to weigh up where it needed to be. Yeah. So we've had to put in pretty much everything that we've got again. Yeah. So I'm pretty good at just going full tilt and just biting down and chewing real hard.
Yeah. Well, worst case scenario, man, you can go back to $1,000 barn door hangs, and you can do it again.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So this is funded now.
Cool.
So we've had to get to close to this stage, and we've just had our first drawdown now.
Cool.
So I had to get it out of the ground and get to this stage, and then the bank have now stepped in.
Sweet.
And so this is all done through Latrobe, and we just have a QS report. So every time we want to put in, it's not so much stage payments, a little bit more set up as a bit of a cost and charge, cost plus sort of thing. Yeah. So they were out here this morning.
Nice.
You put in an invoice, or you tell them that you're ready to go. They'll come out. They'll do a full QS report on what's been done.
Completed so far.
Yeah. So, and then we've got our estimate, and then off to the side of our estimate is just
actuals.
Yeah, percentages and what we're claiming. So tennis court, 100%. Yeah, and say block works at 60% claim to date, and then it just works on like that, and then they'll sign off on that, send it to the bank, and release the money, and from there.
Framing aspect, pre-nail, stick, frame, what are you doing?
Pre-nail on this.
Yeah.
It's the first pre-nail we've done in probably 6 years.
Reasons?
Speed on this one.
Yeah.
Just trying to get a roof on this place as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Even the costing this out, it was only about 15 grand's different.
Okay.
In the purchase price.
Yeah.
And on a house this size, this big, I reckon that we'll pick that up in labour.
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
by just going pre-nailed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just for specs, you've got, I think, what we've cut 747 squares ground floor area.
Yeah.
And you've got 6 bedrooms, a master, second story.
Yeah.
What are you allowing, sort of labor wise, time frame, get all this up, framing?
We've had frames delivered on Friday. The boys are essentially just tying off all our loose ends yesterday and today, finishing off all the little bibs and bobs that we've got here, there, and everywhere before we open that next can of worms.
Yeah.
So that'll be tomorrow. We'll start standing frames.
Yeah.
And then we've got trusses turning up on the 7th of October.
Yeah.
Which is 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, you got a bit to get through.
Yeah. So about 2.5 weeks, and we'll have trusses getting delivered, and then we'll get into that, and then we're scheduling out to have a roof on early to middle of November.
What's your stud height, bottom and top?
3 meters is pretty much everywhere.
Standard,
Yeah. And then just that foyer section's 4 meters.
Cool.
Just that center foyer there.
Yeah. And what's your subfloor off the top of first floor? Between just timber, plywood subfloor?
No,
Between first and second?
Yeah, so it's suspended deck.
Oh, suspended
concrete.
deck. Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
so you got another pour up there.
Yeah, so that's the last pour that's left to go. So that the boys start on that tomorrow, form workers. So
cool.
They're back in here tomorrow to start standing their frames and framing all that up.
Yeah. So how many types of different ceiling wall finishes have you got throughout this on the inside?
Essentially anywhere where there's concrete ceiling is off form.
Okay, cool.
So we've used as much off form as we possibly could.
Which is just there?
Which is just there, the gym ceiling and the basement ceiling.
Of course.
Yep. So they'll all be off form. And then plasterboard pretty much everywhere else. But and then bulkheads in certain areas. So we sort of float between 2.7 ceilings and 3 meter ceilings.
Keen to go different part of around here somewhere.
This whole center section's 4 meters.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And this is all open living in here?
Media room.
Yeah.
Mud room and services.
Okay, cool.
So there'll be a bit of a hallway into the media room there.
Nice.
That will.
Kitchen is out that way.
Yeah, so kitchen's in the center, pretty much the center of the house. Yeah. So and that's, you'd call that essentially a master bedroom wing.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
side.
I saw that on the plans.
And then that's my office.
Nice.
The front room, purely just taking advantage of that aspect.
Yeah,
for me, that was out seeing the water's beautiful as well, but watching like a storm roll in of an afternoon, and like, because out here in the Hindle Valley, like you get every storm that's any bit of rain that's coming through is going to land here.
Yeah, nice, bro.
This is just a atrium, I suppose you'd call it. Yeah, so indoor garden. We probably won't do a water feature. I think we'll probably just plant it all out with a nice feature tree of I don't know what we'll put in there yet, but one sort of nice feature, because we've got sort of 4 meter high ceiling here, so we can get something fairly substantial.
I did notice on the door and window schedule, you've got about 110 units of doors and windows. It's a lot. All from the same supplier, doors and windows, or
bought them from China.
Why China?
Cost.
Yeah.
Cost and double glazed window. Yeah. So we did a build about probably 12 to 18 months ago. Yeah. And there was a build getting done beside us, and that builder did it.
Yeah.
It was the first time I'd sort of heard anything about it.
Importing stuff from China.
Yeah, importing his own windows and stuff like that. Had a look at his windows. There's an Australian rep. They've got a shop in Sydney and one in Melbourne.
Yeah, buzz it.
And
Chinese rep, Chinese shop.
Yeah. So essentially a mini factory in Australia. They don't produce anything here, but they will rectify. They showroom. Okay. Yeah, it sort of stuck with me, and I thought, well, let's have a crack. They supplied a job in Brizzy, so we went up there. We just rang the builder. Nice. They put them in contact.
Nice.
They said, another builder's coming to have a look. Yeah. So we went up to Brizzy one day, just had a walk around his job. It was just at frame stage, just put them in, had a crack. Everything slid perfectly. It was all double glazed.
Mate.
Yeah.
What percentage cost saving do you reckon you're making on windows alone?
My original window price was about 200 grand.
For a local?
Yep, for a local guy here. We got it priced up over there. It come in at like 85. I up-spec'd all the running gear and the handles and all that into all direct, essentially Australian stuff that we could replace here. If something breaks, we can get it.
Yeah, for
no
sure.
issues. And the final bill come in about 115 difference.
85
to save that much money. Yeah. Yeah, on a job this sort of size, it was
Nice.
yeah, it was massive.
Cool. Let's do this little section down here. What's happening here?
So this is that's concrete pier.
Okay.
So that's just going to help take the load of the second story. And in behind that is the butler's pantry.
Yeah, nice.
And then kitchen and island bench here.
Nice.
Dining just there, and living area sort of just there and straight out onto outdoor.
Might be a bit cheeky not getting your kitchen from China as well.
I actually, yeah, I contemplated, but it was probably a little bit too late to put the work in that it needed to be. Yeah, but I did go down that road.
Did you get to the maybe cost analysis? Was it going to be? No doubt it's going to be.
We didn't end up costing it, but I have had another builder mate of mine that did one in Kingscliff.
Yeah.
And it came in 30% better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a cabinet maker.
Yeah.
So he measured it.
Yeah.
Ordered it, and then just oversized your fillers, which that's what cabinet makers do here anyway. Oversized where he needed to, so he had that little bit of play.
Yeah.
And yeah, he said it's come in, and he said he's been in the industry for 35 odd years, 40 years. He said you could not tell the difference in the material.
It's competitive, eh, man?
Yeah.
It's so
They're just getting better and better at that material part of it. Like, yeah, it's not the cheap stuff anymore.
What's your flooring spec through here?
It was burnished. Well, we're going for the burnished.
Yeah,
going for the burnished concrete, but it's sort of cracked up. A fair bit. So we'll end up probably changing and just doing like a light grind.
Okay.
Just so we can patch out cracks and sort of hide them and blend them back in a little bit more.
Yeah. That
straight sort of burnish with these cracks. But again, if you're doing concrete, you need to be aware that it's going to crack. Yeah, it's just a matter of how much it cracks, and every slab's completely different to the last one you did. So yeah, it's sort of just part of it. So we'll probably just move a little bit from that and do a light grind.
Nice.
Which will allow us just to patch up.
Nice.
Get a bit of patching.
Sweet, mate. So obviously heading out into the beautiful alfresco area, sort of, overlook the tennis court and what we've got here.
Yep.
So we've obviously got the beautiful tennis court down here, and I want to talk about that because I'm a tennis nut.
Yep.
We've got the golf simulator up top.
Yep.
We've got the gym, the sauna, everything down below. You're obviously an activities nut, or?
Yeah. We I've got three young kids, so a lot of the design was around facilitating around,
future,
giving them the best life that you possibly can, as everyone sort of wants for their kids. So I was sort of lucky enough in a position that we can do something that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's worth it.
So a lot of the tennis school, not that we're mad tennis fans or anything like that, but it's just something that's a little bit different that you just don't see that often these days, especially.
And you've got floodlights as well.
So we got four. Yeah, we'll get four floodlights in there.
Yeah.
And then a 3.6 height fence.
Cool,
yeah.
If you want me to organise the exhibition match, man, let me know. I'd love to suss that out.
Yeah.
Golf simulator up top. Are you a golfer?
Yes.
Do you do any golfing?
No, not necessarily.
But you might soon.
The old man's a mad golfer.
Okay, so that's the old man's Christmas present.
A little bit,
Nice.
But we've had a pool table and things like that before, and just found that we didn't really utilise it the way that you probably should.
Yeah.
And like we've done a couple of Christmas parties out at Top Golf and all that sort of stuff. And just, even if you're going out with your mates and the kids, everyone loves going to Top Golf, having a couple of beers and just seeing who can swing and who can't. Hence come the idea of the golf simulator.
And you don't lose golf balls, man. That's good.
No, that's right. And everyone will have a crack. You can stand up there. You don't need to be a pro or you don't even need to be any good at it.
Now, for all my tennis lovers out here, this makes a home an absolute luxury home. Triple layered mesh, 200mm thick concrete on board piers has made this tennis court very, very soon an amazing place to hang out for this luxury home. Now, Mitch is obviously super, super passionate about having all these entertainment aspects to his home. And this is really what can take a home being worth $2 to $3 million to north of $5 million. So how good is this? And I mean, look at the view.